It's Jill Life Music.
I be held in the stylo, Milo, Kotoke, Philo, Wilo, nga sister Jel Milme, Fawa, Fena for mobile, Dilo, Kotoke, Rayo, Ayo, Makati Bayo, Slave Belibia, Lebarimbenyo, Sankaneko, Police, Philo, Lyrics, Katile, Comisalo, Minayo, Rapa Pisalo, Kalo, Dua Jabo, Rapi Pabla by Falo, Bidring Kangi, Conteblola, Kamabo, Langabo, Pusa, Kumata Fush, Mini, Fala, Sunkanla. Dula bebe sunkana, Dula bebe sunkana, Dula bebe sunkana. Penya muka mabono, Dula bebe sunkana.
It's Jill Life Music.
Dula bebe sunkana, Dula bebe sunkana, Dula bebe sunkana. Pusa kumata push. Dula bebe sunkana. Rapa me muka momi stop no break bando. None of these niggas can stop my heat. Dimba kando, ngarapa jele dimba faja ngani sai mamala no drakol sutra kono fusi malong isunga muka mabono. Kula ku sungang hula humbi jambiri wata chufa sain subunin kuluhu. Bitiring kang ikonte blola, kamabo mo lang apa pusak mata fush. Mini fala sungkala. Dula bebe sunkana, Dula bebe sunkana, Dula bebe sunkana. Penya muka mabono, Dula bebe sunkana, Dula bebe sunkana, Dula bebe sunkana, Dula bebe sunkana. Pusak mata push, Dula bebe sunkana. Sabadina bokole trisito ledina microphone lambulo konanda kalo se lighter dealer ball badila join kumbal be sisila go by follow nila podon kundo wal bebe janjana 7-digit nigga rap music over radio sansa marajo gambia le nene majo ko dingo mimo kadiamu na pare tandala kamota albe jelale hanal mal like de nani bu paracho Dula bebe sunkana, Dula bebe sunkana, Dula bebe sunkana. Penya muka mabono, Dula bebe sunkana, Dula bebe sunkana, Dula bebe sunkana, Dula bebe sunkana. Pusa kumata push, Dula bebe sunkana.
Good evening, viewers. You're watching us live from Paradise TV. It's the Dancer Yard Show each and every Saturday from 10 to 11 p.m. I'm your host, DJ The Fabulous, in the building right here. My guest is already in the building, the executive from the Gambia Music Union. You know, without wasting much time, I'm going to introduce him. We start from him, and later we're going to have Dia also in the building. Mr. President, you are live from Paradise TV. You're live on the Dancer Yard Show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Fabulous, for having me. Just sincere greetings to everyone out there that is actually locked on, of course, looking at us right here on Paradise TV. We're really excited to be here, but also to talk about issues that are really right now as a hot cake with the president of the Gambia, and also to share with the rest of the world exactly what we are up to during this period. Thank you.
I already had you on the radio. We discussed about a few things, just like a repetition, from the radio to the TV, So can you enlighten us about some of the projects you're working on right now at this moment?
Yeah, so as a union, we actually just came in last December. And coming in last December actually meant that we really had to look at what we have as a union at the time, and what can we do to actually move ourselves from where we were to where we could get ourselves as a union. Cognizance of the fact that we're actually representing basically all musicians in this country, it actually means that we need to institutionalize ourselves. We need to look at what do we have, what don't we have, and what do we do to actually put that in place. And that has been what we started with. So we were trying to see how best we can institutionalize it, have a secretariat, and also at least have procedures and manuals and stuff like that that we have to really, because as an institution you need to have financial manuals that you need to refer to, what are the things that you need to look at if you want to use your finances. These are very, very important things, because once we don't have these things in place, then we're going to just walk, one step forward, 3 steps backward, and that is not the case. So we wanted to make sure that finance-wise we are really there. when it comes to how do we spend our resources, which is very, very important. But also, how do we follow protocols with regards to official matters and stuff like that. So there has been things that we have been doing. Outside that, because the union have had a very, very crazy name out there, so we really wanted to polish that too. And that is the public relations, and which of course we have been doing, and this is one of those, of course, that we are doing with regards to public relations. But also remembering the fact that as at now, all musicians have not registered with the union because the term has expired and people went to Congress, and from Congress now here we are, an executive has been put in place, and we are going on that. So which means we need to make sure we open up registration for all musicians in this country for them to be registered. That amongst other things that we are up to.
You are talking about finance. How do you get your fundings?
Well, primarily, our primary source of income, I'm going to say income in this case, is basically exactly is basically registration of membership. Aside that too, we are expected as an executive to be able to work on project proposals, to be able to work on projects that we will be able to get funding, to be able to help us have activities going on, but of course have administrative costs that we can also put around and be able to go around it depending on what is needed and at what particular time.
Are you getting sponsors from the government or fundings from the government? Like some people will be thinking maybe arts and culture is pumping in money, and people will be complaining, like most of the artists will be complaining, arts and culture, ñu ngi jox gaay baax gaay nekkuñu def dara, gaay music union nekkuñu defal artists yi dara, maybe they don't understand. Can you make us understand that?
Yeah. So I think first and foremost what you need to understand is the National Center for Arts and Culture is basically the government arm that we are directly working with.
Okay.
You cannot work with everyone at the same time.
Okay.
We are all under the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, but we fall under the category of culture because that is where we do. We like the music that we do and so on and so forth. That is where it falls. So our first point of call when it comes to government is the National Center for Arts and Culture. And to tell you the truth, we have not been receiving any sort of money from the government to say this is for the musicians union, use this to do your job or whatever that is. That has not been happening. Notwithstanding, I'm gonna say there has been a blessing in disguise that happened. I'm gonna say a blessing in disguise because of COVID-19, we are able to get some funding that actually came in from the COVID funds that government was allocated, and then they gave us about $250,000 as a union.
Okay.
But this is not only specific to the Musicians Union of the Gambia, but this cuts across to all artistic associations in this country.
Okay.
And that is why we are able to benefit from that $250,000. So as of today, we basically benefit from that. But to say directly government is giving us this amount of money every year or whatever, no, that is not happening.
So how are you going to use that money, that $250,000 that was given to the Gambia Music Union?
Actually, the money is basically for administrative cost.
Okay.
That is, how do we run the Musicians Union of the Gambia using a secretariat? Okay. So as we speak, we're working on the secretariat. Like I said, we've already started working on the manual. Already we're working on the forms for the for the registration, because we need to revisit again. That amongst other things, because we need to equally employ one person that will be full time out there to work at the secretariat to make sure things are going smoothly. Because all members of the executive have their own primary lives, and remember, this is very, very voluntary. There is no payment out of this. Everybody that is involved in this is basically doing it for gratis. But because of the love that all of us have, and because we all have a vision to see where we can take music, Gambian music, and that is why we are all into this. To make
like most people outside will be thinking that the president of the Gambian Music Union is paid, the vice president is paid, the PRO is paid, the secretary is paid.
Oh, I would love that.
Yes, like that's how most people think. So this is why most people will complain, guy, artists, because they think you guys are paid.
Wow. The thing about it is, as a musician, I've seen what the industry is going through. I'm a musician myself. I play instrument. I'm a drummer. Okay, that's nice. And I never knew. Yeah, I don't know, but a lot of people say we don't know you as a drummer. Definitely, myself, I never knew. Yeah, but because I have my other lives, but these are other aspects. But I play with Humanity Stars, and of course, if you know Gambian music, you cannot really name it without Humanity Stars. Of course, that aside, is just to say I wish that we were paid, because then you'll be able to forgo a lot of your private activities to take care of this, because. Reality is we gotta we have to put food on the table at some point. So that is why we needed a secretariat and someone, an administrative secretary who will directly be working with every aspect of what is going to be happening there. And the constitution of the union, is actually is actually built in a way that we have a board, and that board is actually overseeing what the executive, as in the president and the other 8 members, are doing. But also we have to understand that even with that 8, we also have representative of different genres. For example, culture has a representative, contemporary has a representative, female artist has a representative, and so on and so on. Of course, and live bands. So at the end of the day, like, it is this 4 that comes together to form the Union of Musicians in this country. But of course, finances, to be honest, the president is not paid. I wish I was paid.
Don't you think this is one reason why all the previous executives were not active, because there was no payment, so they cannot let their other jobs and then focus on this one?
Well, I don't think it is about the payment at some point, because I've personally known all of them. To some extent, I can say it's because there were no funds lying down for you to do the job. It doesn't matter how much idea that you have, to put out there, but if you don't have the finances to implement those activities, it doesn't make sense.
Okay, you guys are working for the musicians, for the artists. How serious are they about this? Because most of them are never registered.
Yeah.
And the same people who go to radios or go to TVs and complain, guy nekuny defal dara, guy defuny dara, guy defuny dara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, usually I would say if you don't directly come to the union to work with the union, you might not necessarily know what is happening.
Exactly.
And that is why we try to open WhatsApp groups. We try to get our social media engaged for them to know week in, week out what is actually happening at the Musicians Union. But it's primarily very, very important. If you are able to register with the Musicians Union, which a lot of musicians are not doing, a lot of artists are not doing, but again, we thought that it is important for now for us to put it out there. Now we're going to have a mass registration. And in the mass registration, everybody will make sure, we'll go to the television just like I'm here right now, and we're going to the radios, we're going to social media, we're going to make sure that everybody, unless if you don't want to see, but you should get the information that we are organizing a mass registration campaign for all musicians in this country. And we are not stationing in the Greater Banjul areas, because that equally has disturbed us a lot. We have so much talent up country that we really need to go out there to fetch those people, to also make sure that they benefit directly from what the union is.
Yeah, because I was about coming to that, you're going to do the registration at Westville on the 17th, So what about up countries, those in the rural areas? Because we have a lot of artists in the rural areas.
Absolutely.
So how are you going to go about that?
That again, just like we've organized for the Greater Banjul areas, I'm going to call it, the same thing that we are going to be doing for upcountry. Every region, we're going there to the administrative region, of course, or possibly the big towns. We're looking at the logistics around that. But hopefully, when we get there, our plan is to make sure that we're able to get to every musician. It doesn't matter if you are playing just the kora, or you are playing, that gong, that the Mandinka women will use to, as their musical instrument. It doesn't matter what you do, the halam, whatever it is, we want to get to them, we want them to register. And that will equally help, because when you build project proposals, then you have to put up a justification. And your justification, most of the time, you need to use statistics. The only statistics we don't have as of now. So, which means we need to collect data, which is to get musicians to register, so we can be able to count how many musicians do we have registered with us. So, if I write a project proposal, it's easy for me to use that justification that this particular proposal is going to serve this number of musicians within this country.
At this particular area.
Exactly.
Okay.
Every region, at least you would have known, NBR you have 5, this place you have 100. And
Okay, I was talking about the fundings, so I was thinking, if you guys are about to go up countries, like the rural areas, the resources you guys are going to spend, and like the executives are not paid, how are you going to go about this, like taking people to rural areas and letting them stay there for a week to register people there, when they're not getting paid,
Yeah, these are administrative things that you do. Not all the time that you get exactly all the money that you need to actually put out there. But what really happens is, you need to look at, that's what we call cut and paste, So we'll have to cut and paste just to make things happen, because that is primarily very, very important. But yes, admin-wise, we know that there is not much money, but we really have to. These are primary things that needs to happen, and we'll make sure that they happen, irrespective of the meager resources.
Okay. I've seen other people assuming that, Ministry of Tourism and Culture being responsible for musicians or artists, or directly on arts and culture. People are assuming like the musicians need to have their own ministry that will be directly responsible for the artists or for the musicians in the country or for the arts.
Yeah. No, actually, a lot of people, because when you look at our minister, they're just, of course, Honorable Ahmad Bah. Let me use the opportunity to send our sincere regards to him. If you look at if you say Minister of Tourism and Culture, he is only oriented when it comes to the tourism aspect of things. But if you come to the cultural aspect, which we're actually doing, he is not that much into that area. That is the reality. And I stand to be corrected by anyone, but this is my opinion, and I stand by it. It is important. It is important. If we want the attention that we need, as let's say people that are working, within the cultural industry, we really need to have someone that actually knows the cultural industry.
Exactly, who's very vast about it.
Who has been a part of the cultural industry.
And knows a lot about it.
Exactly, who knows our problems. And then that way it's easy for that person to remedy our problems.
Exactly.
But unless and until we have that, then they are, then we feel sidelined, like what is happening right now. If you ask musicians, they will tell you, look, I think, the minister is only focused on tourism, because hardly you talk about the cultural aspect of things, which is very, very important. And I equally believe that the cultural aspect of things right now is what actually brings the tourists, because the attraction in here is the culture that we have. Exactly. That is what we sell to the tourists for them to come. So if you don't really preserve, if you don't really focus a little bit on this to elevate it up and preserve it, then we're going to have a problem of what to present out there, to the tourists. And that is very, very important. And we all know that tourism, is a very good, it's basically, if I'm right, it's the second, how to call it, foreign exchange and for our country.
Exactly.
So if that is the case, we really need to, what actually enhances tourism must be taken care of. And that is the cultural industry.
Okay, is the music union having any plans to put this to the government, that we need our own ministry?
No, we don't have that. What we can do is to advocate. What we can do is to probably talk to the president, of course, through the National Center for Arts and Culture, because everything is protocols. I'm not sure if we are there yet to do that. But my opinion definitely is, if we have a minister that is directly responsible for culture in this country, then the cultural industry will see a very big boom. Absolutely.
Our artists, most of them are not happy with NCAC itself. They'll be like, they should be supporting the music union. So they don't see the support they were expecting from them, so that the music union also can have what they want.
Yeah. Well, realistically, we have had some really, really crazy moments. But with NCAC, I remember when we went to Congress, this is like a whole crazy thing going on. Because
I was not there, but I heard about everything.
Yeah, so we literally had to, fight about the whole thing, myself as then I was a part of the interim committee of the Musicians Union. G was then the president, or you could call him chairperson at the time. And then we were working together with a committee man of 5. And a lot of things that we wanted, we couldn't get from the NCAC. Communication-wise, it was difficult. Alhamdulillah, today, we have all, now seen that our communication with NCAC is right there. When we send them, in fact, they invite us to activities, and we also make sure that we invite them to activities that we do. And that definitely is the chain. The union is autonomous. That means we do things on our own. We are independent.
Okay.
Notwithstanding, we really need to do stuff in consultation with the National Center for Arts and Culture, because they need to know what we are doing as well. Just like we need to know what they are doing, especially if it concerns us as a union. And that is very, very important. So as of today, yes, we have had a lot of ping-pongs that we had before. But today, alhamdulillah, hopefully it continues.
How many people do you have in the executive, and can you tell us their names and their roles?
Yes, as of now, the executive comprises of the central executive and the general executive.
Okay.
So the central executive is about 8 people.
Okay.
Now those 8 people, myself being the president, and you have Sambu. Sambu the Unstoppable, he's the vice president.
Okay.
And secretary general, we have Kilais Ali Cham. We also have program officer, who is Mbemba Jale Saho. We also have PRO, Public Relations Officer, who was supposed to be here. This is basically his seat that I'm sitting on, who is Mr. Mohammed Sumare, who is my very good brother and uncle, of course, colleague. We also have Lamin Kessler.
He ran away from the camera.
No, he don't, because right now he's basically at another TV, doing the same thing I'm doing out here, because we have a schedule to go around to media houses with regards to this. Yes. And we have Lamin Kessler Jame, who is the Assistant Secretary General. And we also have Finance, who is MLK, Martin. Of course, MLK, I'm sure everybody, though they have Mr. Though they have,
Okay.
And then we have Lizzie, who is assisting her, on that aspect. Notwithstanding, we also have the General. And the General Executive comprises of at least representative from the different genres. And that is culture, contemporary. We're talking about live bands as well as female artists. For female artists, we have Miss Ma, who is Mandenka Gideon, and we also have for culture, we have what's the name of our uncle again? Actually, I forgot the name, but I can check. And then we have how to call it? Contemporary is Big Fa.
Okay.
My
Mr. Anything.
Contemporary is Big Fa, who is now representing the the live, of course, not the live bands. He's basically representing contemporary artists. And live bands we have Modou Diouf Dre, who is also with Humanity Stars with myself. So this is what we have as a comprise of the executive.
Okay, let's talk about the registration. Tell us about the registration. When is the registration taking place, and why is it important for an artist to register with the Gambia Music Union?
So actually, the registration is taking place on the 17th of July.
That's this Friday coming on Saturday coming?
Actually, it's supposed to be Saturday, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be on the 17th.
Okay.
Usually, we want to have it over the weekend so that it's easier for everyone to have time to come over, because musicians are very busy over the weekend because we all have activities to do. But right after that, we are free. So on the 17th, yes, we have.
It's going to be one day.
It's going to be a one-off thing.
Okay.
And that's why we want to have it as a bang to make sure that everybody is involved in it, to make sure that everybody knows that this is actually happening, and then we can come and be a part of it. And it's happening at the Youth Monument at Westfield. We want to start it around 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So everybody can have access at any time of the day to come and register before it ends.
9 to what time?
9 up to around, because we even want to have, a live band set up. Okay. So any artist that feel like you want to do something, you should be able to come over and enjoy yourself.
Can just register and just jump
on stage and then, let's do our thing, because that's what we are about. So we should be able to showcase that to the people. Absolutely. Okay. So that is what is happening. And also, the registration has some payment as well, because people need to pay to be a part of the, because the benefits of being a part of the union is belonging to a trade union, which means the trade union stands by you when you are in times of difficulties. Not necessarily even difficulties, but we can serve as advice, because we have people, for example, when you have a contract, not every time Dick and Harry can look at a contract and know what it entails, So the interpretation of those contracts, we have a legal-minded person who we are working with, who will be able to look at your contract and then tell you if it really is working for you or not. And you need to know exactly the details of those contracts before you jump into it. It doesn't matter how lucrative the money is, it's about sustaining it. And most of the time about musicians is about owning rights, because that is very, very important. So those are things that we really can, of course, we advise as well. I think there are other stuff that we can do, like regulate the industry, but that equally, for example, you have a date, I have a date, we can have a bilateral to discuss based on what the union is able to offer at the time. You put it that way and I put it this way, and then we have. So that, amongst other things, definitely should be happening.
Let's talk about the payment. How much is the payment? So
the payment is for individual musicians, because as a union, we decided to make sure that every person reflects, the union. For example, we have Gambian payment, but also we have non-Gambians as well. Okay. So for the Gambian payment,
so it means non-Gambians can also register.
Non-Gambians, if you're a musician and you're applying your trade in the country, you can actually register.
Okay.
And for individuals, it's going to be $500. So for the 3-year time span, which is what the Constitution is asking us right now.
It expires after 3 years.
After 3 years, it's expired. Okay. So if you're paying for 3 years upfront, which is supposed to be $1,500, we are not going to ask you to pay $1,500. We'll ask you to pay $1,250. So we're giving you
3 years.
For the 3 years, okay. Exactly. And then you can have your card that valids for 3 years, and so on and so forth. So if for a group, it's going to be $1,000. It's $1,000. Okay. So that $1,000 to by 3 years is going to be $3,000. But if you're paying upfront, then we're actually going to be giving you a $2,500, kicking off the 500. Okay. So for non-Gambians, individuals is $700 for the year. So you times that by 3, and then we are still knocking off and giving you $1,700 for the 3-year time. So the same thing happening with regards to groups. $1,500 for the year, but we're knocking it off and giving it to you for the 3-year all straight. It's going to be $3,500. So these are the the prices, or the, let's say I'm calling it price anyway. Now this is the membership fee that we are putting out from members. Of course, this doesn't reflect me as an individual, but this reflects those that were at Congress that agree that every member should be able to pay this if you want to be a member of the Musicians Union of the Gambia.
Okay, so this amount that is being paid is going to be used by the union to run some of the activities.
Absolutely.
Okay, which means that it's very important for artists to come and register on the 17th. That's this weekend coming at Westfield Youth Monument. All right, and it's going to expire 3 years. So like if a group want to register for 3 years but they don't have the full money and they want to pay half, how much can they pay?
Well, if that is the case, for example, a group is $1,000 and you want to pay 111, that means you have to pay the $1,000.
Okay, that means they have to be 3,000, no discount.
Exactly, no discount. Okay. But if you're paying all upfront, $3,000, then we'll tell you, you know what, keep the 500, and then we're going to register you for 2,000. How to call it? Yeah, 2,500.
And then you're gonna have your card that very day. I think they need to know about that.
Yeah, the idea is to have the card on the day, and we're working on that logistic. As we speak right now, we're already working with our partner that we're working on with regards to registration. So, inshallah, by the grace of God, the plan is to have it upfront. You pay, you are vetted, because remember too, we have to vet you as a musician. Not every time Dick and Harry can just come and just register anyhow.
Yeah, I was about coming to that because some people might come and say they're artists because they just want to have the card, you know. So how are we going to know this guy's an artist or this guy's not an artist? Because there's some new upcoming artists that you don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, this is true, because if you call yourself an artist, there are specific things that are very, very easy for us to all understand. One, you should be recognized by us, no matter what happens, because this, you could call another industry, but primarily this country is very, very small. That every artist
but there are upcoming artists who are not even known by the DJs, and they're not like it's a new upcoming artist. You have 1 single, 2 singles, but you want to come and register because you heard about this being announced in all the radio stations. So
Absolutely.
Fabulous don't know you, Mr. President don't know you, even those guys on the table that don't know you. How are you going to know this guy's an artist?
But this is why it's supposed to happen. One, we are expecting every musician or every artist to come along with 1 or 2 products that you've made.
Exactly, very important.
For example, if you have songs, we want to know your songs. We want to listen to your songs. We want to know that this is something that you have done yourself. If you've had a show, and that's why if you look at the form, it's ask specific questions. When we give you the form, you feel it. Whatever information you put in it, if it comes, that's what we're going to look at and vet. So if you put any false information, in one way or the other, we will know. Even if we issue you a card and we realize that with the information that you put there is false, we'll revoke your registration. So we still have the rights to that as well.
What is the importance of artists coming and registering with the music union?
Well, like I said, registering with the union means belonging to a union of different people that are applying in the same trade. In that case, the union equally is going to use your registration that you're doing to be able to hire the service of a legal-minded person who will be looking at those contracts. If you want to travel outside, together with the NCAC, because we already have a bilateral with the National Center for Arts and Culture. Usually, artists just go to NCAC and register over there. But now, if you go to NCAC, they will ask you to come back. To the Musicians Union Force, register with us before you go.
You have to register with the Music Union Force before you register
with the Union Force
NCAC.
before you go to NCAC. That way, NCAC will not have to go through that rigorous activity of vetting who you are and whatsoever you are and stuff like that. So that is our responsibility, to make sure that we put the ground in order. We make sure that every aspect of who you are, we know when it comes to music, and that we should be able to vet you and register you. Once we register you, then we provide our database to NCAC.
So someone was asking me, if I have this card, can I use it to go to programs? I said, well, I don't know, but if Mr. President come and the PR, I'll ask them about this question. You want to go free Al-Fudi programs, but I'll ask Mr. President, so he will clarify that part for us.
Well, the card is not going to give you access to any program. No, because if Fabulous organizes his program, that is entirely his. But what we are trying to do, because the card needs to have a value, and the value is, as a union, the membership will agree, because by December we're going to have our AGM, our annual general meeting, which of course, let me quickly say, that is going to be the first time the Musicians Union will be having an AGM in this country. And that is very, very important, because somewhere along the line as we are going, there are things that happen that we need to regularize and put together, when it comes to the constitution and all of that. And because we need the, the legal, how to call it, legal go from Congress, which is the highest decision-making body, to say, you guys can go ahead and make this happen. So yes, at AGM, we are going to put it out there that with the card, you can have 50% discount for any shows of any musician that belongs to us. And once we agree with that, then it's okay. If you use your card, if your ticket is $100, I can come, show my card, and be able to pay $50 and enter. Because that is already agreed as at our AGM that this is what we want to do. And all of us are going to benefit from it.
Okay, let's go with this video break, and then we'll be right back after the video. So let's go with the video and be right back.
Furuta furuta kaki yerema akalafta nela akabafe anafuru na hakilo tuato nanjusu diala kaya ko nanafuru jarale mfuru kaneti kanote baila ate baila Mobeka kanu furuta kaki yerema kalam tagi kano hey neto baby mobeka kanu furuta kaki yerema alfata katulum kanola kano man ketulum tatu temenketela ayatunale mahanya kakano kumafo kafo 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 sonya kanole belabana kano te baila ate baila omega kanu furuta kaki yerema kalom tagi kano hey Kaki yerema Jarabila Jarabila Nabi fele Jarabila Jarabila Nabi fele Kanonte baila baila Mobeka kanu furuta kaki yerema kalom tagi kano hey neto baby mobeka kanu furuta kaki yerema
Welcome back after the amazing video from Diha. We're supposed to have Diha in the building. Why Bente Gisumako, Bente Degumako. So probably before the end of the show, see might just pop in the studios, you know. Welcome back to the show, Mr. President. And laka tuti oloftamit, you know. Gaite muna dega, you muna hamla neka di watan, you know. So a lot of us, I'm going to briefly explain correctly all of Gaite muna understand you how many out there they're listening.
waa jërëjëf Fabulous di sant rek di gërëm ñi nga xam ne ñoo nekk di seetaan Paradise TV di leen wax ne tey dañ fi ñëwoon rek pour waxtaanee li nga xam ne moo nekk Musicians Union ak li nga xam ne loolu lañ nekk di liggéey si jamono ji ñu nekk nii fi mu nekk nii nag lu ñu dégmal si moo nekk registration maanaam pour xayman nit ñi nga xam ne ñoo nekk di yëngu si mbaalum aar si Gambia bi te ci biir loolu ñu ngi bugg a def benn yëngu-yëngu boo xam ne dafaa nekk on the 17th of this month mu war a nekk si Youth Monument bi nga xam ne moo nekk si diggi Westfield nga xam ne dañ faa nekk pour rek invite ñëpp pour ñu ñëw su ko defee ñu register wane na ñoom artiste lañ wala ñu ngi yëngatu ci musique ci biir Gambia bi den su ko defee ñu am leen ñu bokk ci Musicians Union Gambia bi nga xam ne moo taxaw pour make sure ne musicians yi yëpp artistes yëpp ñëw nañ together bokk benn mbootaay nga xam ne dinañ mën a liggéey you know gën a yóbbu suñu liggéey ci kanam daal parce que loolu dafa am solo so loolu bokk na ci li nga xam ne loolu la ñoo def si waxtaan bi foog naa loolu lañ gën a tënka foog naa li comme loolu passé loolu mooy rek lan la Musicians Union bi di def right now fan lañ toolu ak yooyu noonu te maa ngi doon wax tamit si décembre bu passé nii si lañ am suñu congrès si congrès boobu ñun si lañ ñu fal def ñu njiit si Musicians Union bi pour ñu waxtaanee wala liggéey li nga xam ne ni mooy njëm kanami musique si Gambia bi waaye njëm kanami musicien yi nga xam ne ñoo nekk si réew mi so loolu bokk na ci li nga xam ne ni ñu ngi cee liggéey bu baax a baax a baax boole koog musicien si yëpp boole koog musicien bu nekk parce que képp koo xam ne yaa ngi liggéey si culture si aada ak cosaan yaa ngi liggéey maanaam si contemporary mooy musique bi es bi nga xam ne moo xew si jamono ji fu mu nekk ni wala nga nekk koo xam ne si live band bi nga bokk ñi nga xam ne ñooy tëgga instrument yi yooyu noonu ñoo ñëpp bokk nañ si li nga xam ne ak sax jigéen ñi nga xam ne ñoo nekk di yëngatu si musique parce que bari nañ ko Gambie te xarañ laan trop si li ñoo def so loolu ak yeneen bokk na ci li nga xam ne ni ñu ngi ko def si Musicians Union bi tey rek di ñaax ñëpp ñu ñëw register bi di Musicians Union soo nekkee ko xam ne yaa nga yëngatu si musique rek si Gambia bi am nga sañ-sañ ñëw bokk si Musicians Union of the Gambia pour ñu liggéey incha allah.
So kañ la date bi ban time la fan la exactly.
waaw mu ngee nekk nag on the 17 lañ ko am. dafa nekk Westfield. time bi dafa war a nekk 9 o'clock si suba. so bëgg nañ ko am mu nekk bés boo xam ne dafa nekk di whole day. nga xam ne ñu ñëpp a fa nekk. ku ñëw rek da ngaa jël form bi nga fill ko nga register. su ko defee ñu war laa mun a wax tamit ndax yow. war ngaa mun a bokk wala munoo bokk parce que nekku na ku dox si mbedd mi rek war a ñëw rek jël kayit rek fill nag na man musicien la. loolu tam am na lu ko gën so mu am yoo xam ne ni daal sarta la yoo xam ne ñu ngi ko teg te sarta yooyu dinañ ko bàyyi xel nga xam ne ku ñëw rek pour register dinañ make sure yow musicien nga balaa ñu laa mën a jox suñu kayit.
Okay. On the 17th, this weekend, Westfield Youth Monument, ngeen génne si ngeen ñëw register all the Gambian artists, it's very important, Foog naa there was a time, artists doon wax ne ñoom yëguñ what the Gambian Music Union was up to, what they were doing. So seen tour bi on the radio, on the TVs, foog naa it's very important. Léegi kenn di wax ne man yëguma ko, xaw ma ko woon, because you doing this radio tour pour ngeen waxtaan ak gars yi xam ne exactly this is what's happening. So time bu des foog naa bariwul te di xaar egsi na. So finally, what do you have to say to the fans and the viewers out there watching you?
Well, for me, I think primarily is going to ask every Gambian musician out there. For me, usually I would say, once you are a musician, for us, you are just a musician. So of course, we need to give due to our big heads in the industry, because these are people that we need to give respect because they grind and work so hard to where they are. Notwithstanding, we are urging them as people that every other young person out there is looking up to, for them to take the lead, to show the young people that they need to come out and register, because this is ours. At the end of the day, if it goes good, it's us. If it goes the other way around, it's us. And they, being I'm going to say the big heads at the helm of things, should be able to come out in their numbers to register, to also allow the younger generation to also come up and register. So, li mo nekk li ma bëggoon a tàggoo rek. Jërëjëf.
On the 17th, Westfield Youth Monument, bëgguma ngeen ñëw si mashu bi nag afterwards na ngeen yëguma ko dégguma ko, It's all over the radios, it's all over the TVs, so dégg ngeen ko, so take note, 17th Westfield Youth Monument, come out and register. We're going to take this video break and then we'll be right back.
Most of them pretend that si batinya kanya duma. Adia mo kana siya nga nya kaso lenyorila. Keep the faith, ilalungo binala. Keep the faith, ilalungo binala. Nawato sita jong mangkuno je aladama manso atele ko beno. Keep the faith, ilalungo binala. Keep the faith, ilalungo binala. Nawato sita jong mangkuno je aladama manso atele ko beno. Ay, mana idea. Ay, mana idea. Ay, ka idea. Shakalaka boom. Nimkwe makuye sakung metele takung. Imanyal control kanatana tengkung. Duntang puntan tunoto deluntanti. Niente kunnoti ni soy senguntan. Meta nyor la duma e kuja male kena. Dolben no kang bari manteri kule bonna. Most of them pretend that si batinya kanya duma. Adia mo kana siya nga nya kaso lenyorila. Keep the faith, ilalunga binala. Keep the faith, ilalunga binala. Nawato sita jong mangkuno je aladama manso Bato sita jongo mankuno je ala dema manso atele kobe.
Welcome back after that amazing video from Miss Jobis, lovely video. Our female artists are definitely trying. Let's give them the support they need. My second guest is already in the building. Diha, Senegal, Gambia. Senegal, Gambia. Tey nak fok mu leer lan mako di yobbu Senegal. Diha, welcome to the show, the Dance Ayat show. For the first time, I'm on Narasi Radio, but this is the first time I'm having my TV show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Fabulous. Thank you. Di nuyu Gambia ñep sen tour ak sen sante di len wax ne man la Diha Traoré sen star sen xarit sen dom te ma fi nek tay ñu nara toj fi
Diha, why da nga lost dañ la gëj gis ci lo nekkon ak fo nekkon
maa ngi woon Sénégal comme ni nga ko waxee rek maa ngi diggante Gambia ak Sénégal nekk si sumay business ak sumay nekk si music bi ak business bi daal
waaw dina la gëj a dégg sometimes lan moo di waral loolu dina la gëj a dégg
lan moo waral loolu
waaw
dara waru ko nag dara waru ko ñëpp xam ñi nga xamee ñu ngay follow Diha they know si lan laa nekk because man lu may def moom soo ñëwee ci côté music I share everything with my fans dañuy xam Diha ci lum nekka xanaa ku ma follow rek nga moo dul xam Diha ci lum nekka so du dara Sénégal suma kër la comme Gambia nu mu nekkee suma kër maa ngi fa am parents maa ngi fa am suma business maa ngi fa am suma music and I'm happy there I'm happy also here waaye xam ku nekka fi nga gën a am sa freedom wala fi nga xamee li ngay liggéey fa la gën a dox foofu ngay bëgg a nekk so loolu bokk na li ma gën a toogloo Sénégal waaye tamit di nga gis mënuma dunda without Gambie because Sénégal dama fay am benn weer rek man na ma Gambie ma dawaat ñëw Gambie gisaat suma famille yi fi nekka gisaat fans yi am lu ma war a defaat delluwaat loolu rek la waaye du dara
yaa ngi def business in Sénégal apart from music lan nga dee defaat
damay jaay damay ñëw ay yére góor di jaay
nan kañ nga maa ñëwal man tamit
soo paree rek julli bi nga ñëw ñu
man tamit su ma demee toog si télé ma ne this is done by Diha
waaw soo paree rek nga ñëw ñu ñëwal la so loolu la daal
kañ nga gëj a génne song wala video sa last song bi sa last video kañ la
suma last song was suma last song bi ma def I sing about coronavirus bi nga xamee bi mu ñëwee lakkal ñit yi ci biir dëkk bi sonal ñit yi then si laa def benn song woy ko coronavirus am na léegi at because corona bi mu ñëwee it was 1 month la woon sax
du moon loolu am na léegi almost 2 years léegi
yeah I mean danga ma laaj suma last song
sa last song kañ nga drop sa last song waaw kañ nga mujjee record waaw
loolu laa la doon ma ne si period coronavirus bi mu ñu attaqué it was last year December I think so la feeñ China then after mu ñëw Sénégal dugg biir Afrique jamono yooyu la moo nekkoon suma last song but before that I have one song called Kalon Tege Serigne Touba waaw ñetti song yëpp mun naa wax ne am nañ almost a year now
what projects nga nekk di job time bii nii
right now I'm on my album Diha is gonna launch her album very soon
as soon as
December lañ ko bëggoon a def mais jàppaguñu date ak venue waaye daal biir December inshallah Diha bëgg na def launch
album ndax songs yi yëpp pare nañ
of course
how many songs are you gonna have in the album
it's gonna be 10 tracks
fan nga record 10 tracks Gambia wala Sénégal wala somin Gambia wala somin Sénégal
def naa ñaar Gambia but the rest Sénégal laa ko def
da nga am ku la di sponsor pour nga record because xam ne record dafa expensive video tamit dafa expensive Diha mu ngi kotu fii mu ngi def business ndax am na koo xam ne outside there mu ngi nekk foofu di ko jàppale di la sponsor pour sa video si wala sa audio si
to be honest with you suma album bi aw ma ci benn sponsor man maa def yëpp man maa def yëpp si suma post la jógee ak suma yaay ak maybe some friends waaye nekkul benn company wala benn nit ku ñëw pour sponsor
amula manager
Yeah, I had a manager. I'm not manager. I'm not koo xam ne dañuy liggéey. ano dañuy liggéey waaye xam nga manager du doy. Manager du doy because sometimes nga am nit mu lay manage waaye di nga gis kooku mu ngi lay manage waaye kooku tam mu ngi am yëfi boppam yi nga xam ne mu ngi ci gën a focus. So still your artist bi da ngay ne okay I need extra manager bëgg naa waat manager. So artist du doyal si manager.
waaye ndax am nga team ñoo xam ne they are behind you like soo nekkee Sénégal ndax am nga fii somebody koo xam ne he's responsible to distribute your music or sa videos in some of the TVs because man dama feel like ne like sa distribution bi dafa des.
In
like,
Gambia.
Well, in Gambia. Like most DJs don't have your songs. Sa new songs ila wade. Wama old ones ide. Like talent you know you bari am nañ ko. Tanga you yaga nañ daw since GRTS and all of those things. I understand you bari am nañ loolu. But recently songs nga mujjé génné ni like most DJs don't have them. Mota ma laajte la ndax am nga somebody ko xamné ko more responsible sa distribution bi in the Gambia. Because loolu mo lay nekk problem most of the artists. Da nga dé génné songs, génné video nga fogg nit yëpp am nañ ko, TV yëpp am nañ ko, nga fogg DJs am nañ ko fekk the main heads ñoo xam ne ñu ngi play game music amuñ ko. So nga gis ne doo mën a am that play yow boo expect.
Well, Fabulous, thank you for that correction. Hanga luy problème bi fii Gambia. Man génnee naa son. Télé Sénégal ñëpp am nañ ko. te Télé Sénégal dew ma si ñoom jox leen ko. Because right now technology everything is online la. nit yi léegi they work online. Sa video bu génnee you email it to them or they took it from your platform. ñoom tam ñu mun koo play. So man dama foog ne Gambia fii is high time waruñoo xaar ne ok Diha génnee na daf ñu ko war a indil. yéen gis ngeen ne Diha génnee nga pare ngeen pour help Diha pour promote ko because Gambian artist la waaye no dem leen soo leen demee si plateforme Diha moo xam YouTube channel la moo xam fu mu doon understand nga. di ngeen fa am songam comme ni ngeen dee demee ci plateforme yeneen foreign artists yi. di play seen song because Davido ak ñoom Wizkid wala ñoom Viviane ñoom Wally xam nga ñoom ñëwuñ jël seen song indi ko radio yi. DJ yi ak promoteur ñoo dem utal ko seen bopp di ko play why not seen artistes yi tamit ngeen di def the same thing comme loolu understand nga. because man fooguma ne technology fi mu toll ni jamono passé na pour ngay xaar nit mu dox dëkk wala kër ba kër ñëw pour ne la suma song nii play ko as long yéen xam ngeen ne kooku am na lu mu génnee soo leen ko paree promote mun ngeen a dem comme yeneen artistes ni ngeen di amee songam ngeen play ko so man loolu laa foog. noonu la war a demee.
foog loolu tamit artiste bi tamit dafa war a am team at some point ñoo xam ne dañu ko war a defal like some few TikToks tamit.
am naa team am naa few nit am naa nit yoo xam ne maa ngi liggéey ak ñoom.
ñu Gambia fii.
I'm not talking about for man right now Gambia fii am naa fi link maa ngi wax ak nit. maa ngi wax ak ñi nga xam ne lépp lu ma génnee rek dama leen koy yóoni.
ñoo ko distribute.
anyway dinaa leen ko yóoni. am na ñoo xam ne few booy ñu ngi fii. am na ñoo xam ne su dee ñu ngi seetaan xam nañ lu ma génnee rek dinaa ko ne ok génnee naa lii ma jox la ko. understand nga pour nga jàpp ci promo bi so su ma la ko joxee léegi. yow soo ko yóbbee baax na soo ko yóbbu baax na but I'm not gonna force you demal Paradise nga yóbbul ma suma lii bi wala lii wala nii because man maa ngi Sénégal so yow mi fi nekk yónni naa la ko you should do it for me for the sake of Gambian music or the love you have for me. soo ko defut tamit
suñu waxtaan bi. du mën a xëj ci time bi because da nga late because su ma bëgg ñu waxtaan. dafa bari. te time bi lu fa des foog naa ëpp 5 minutes. So let's just summarize things. At least you muna waxtaan about few things. Like yow ban problem nga nekk di am right now? Do you have any problem boo xam ne yaa ngi ko face right now si sa music career bi?
amoon naa problème lu ma doon géttan si music Gambia. defoon naa si vidéo génnee ko. am few YouTube channels ñu ko dugal seen kii. gars yi wax ko. so comme li nga wax time bi dafa gàtta. you know time bi dafa gàtta so I don't think jar na pour ma explain waat loolu waxoon naa ko. gars yi dégg nañ so niituma pour di si delluwaat man right now.
foog naa gis naa sa vidéo boobu moo nekk pick and choose bi promoters and all of those things.
waaw you see because Gambia dama fi nekka. fii laa defee suma music fii laa xam fii laa def everything. mais soo nekkee si dëkka ngay woy nga gis na ñi ok. problème am na problème bi mooy maybe xamuñ sa talent. xamuñ talent bu nekk si yow. love bi dafa des. so it's high time yow tamit nga dem somewhere. ndax di nga mën a gis foofu sa boppa soo demee nga gis foofu sa boppa of course foofu ngay toog. mais terewul tamit nga bàyyi sa fi nga starté. still now tamit foofu tamit di nga leen wan ok maa ngi ci kawam. mais fàttewuma leen understand nga. so Gambia fii si site music bi I love Gambia and I love Gambian music te sant yàlla léegi mu ngay dem comme nu ma ko bëggee waaye ba tey problème bi man li ma si gën a gis problème yi si female yi ñun female artistes yi la gën a nekk understand nga du man suma problème kese problème keneen ak keneen la xëy na man maa wax suma bos mu feeñ so point boobu du ma fa ñëwaat waaye li ma lay wax rek mooy ku bëgg a dihaa bëgg lu dihaa di def foog naa ne di nga ko follow lu mu génnee nga jël ko yow sa boppa nga dem nga share ko
jox ñu sa social media site yi sa Facebook sa Instagram bi
maa Instagram Diha Traoré YouTube tamit soo demee boo defee Diha Traoré di nga gis Challenge Studio
DIHA right
DIHA Facebook DIHA so if you platform yi ku ma ci follow rek di nga gis Diha
how is your relationship with artists yi especially jigéen yi because dañ dee wane jigéen yi ñoom ñu ne ñu dee juboo most of the time wax yi sew yi fii and all of those things you know naka sa diggante ak gars yi
non awma problème ak benn female artist wax dëgg yàlla awma problème ak kenn ku génnee dara su ma ko like dinaa si comment wala ma like ko or ma share ko
te dama la gis tamit jigéen ñi de complain ne wane artist ñu defee show ne invite Chepe yi and all of those things
waa Chepe yi moom problème am na because man sometimes Gambia fii right now suñ ne di best female artist fii comme tey boo ne ok Gambia Jaliba la ñuy wax tey ñu tudd si boy ñu tudd ST ñoom gisul understand nga ñoom attaque ak ñu ne right now bu ñëwee si site jigéen yi kan ngay wax
affaire
kan ngay wax right now si site jigéen yi man dama foog ne amul benn competition site jigéen yi there is no competition site jigéen yi
lan nga foog ne
te loolu dafa war a am
lan moo waral loolu
lan moo waral loolu dama foog ne jàppale bi dafa des si site female yi ba pare female yi ñoom seen bopp foog naa ne
foog la female tamit dañ am benn problème ñun tamit
dañ war a déggoo number one buñ xeebante dañ war a déggoo and foog naa dañ war a gën a liggéey tamit waaye yëpp tamit si déggoo bi la
ñu bàyyi teel bi tamit because like dama lay gis mi at yoo xam ne Fabulous man dama am support interview loo ma you connect them for the interview sax they will not come yeah they will not come I have a lot of artists ñoo xam ne dañ dee wane Fabulous dañu soxla support you know jigéen yi nii ak nii but man suma boppa I will even invite them to a studio for recording they will not come su ma la waxee radio interview sax duñ ñëw dañoo maa jox gars yi time bi pare I will not even see them xam nga loolu dafa nekk lu garaaw so at the end of the day dañoo toog ñu naan amuñ support so sometimes tamit man tamit dama day blame Chepe yi sometimes at some point di xaa gaa ñu ne time bi jeex na waxtaan maa ngi ne waa gaa ñu ne time bi jeex na finally lan nga am pour wax fans yi ñu la nekk di seetaan ren and what should they expect from you
di leen wax man la Diha Traoré maa ngi ci kawam maa ngi ci music bi album will be drop soon ku ma bëgg a follow comme ni ma ko waxee Diha Traoré Facebook Instagram YouTube then di nga xam Diha si lu mu nekka te saa yu album bi jotee di ngeen xam si Diha si lu mu nekk waaye xam naa dinañ yokkawaat li nga xamee sa time dafa gàtta Fabulous
yow yaa late fan si xam ngeen ne moom moo late
benn 20 minutes late
because late na 40 minutes moom moo late you know but that's Diha Traoré watch out for her you know amazing talent you know and her album will be dropping pretty soon you know updates will be coming on the Dansaya show right here you know and follow her on Instagram and on Facebook you know big stars going to all the fans who are watching us live on Paradise TV my guys at the control room the guys on the camera here big thanks for going out to you to the CEO Mr. Drame and each and every other person who's watching us right now. It's a Dansaya show each and every Saturday from 10 to 11 p.m. I'm your host DJ The Fabulous Squad Fabulous Entertainment. I'll be back again next week Saturday the same station the same time. Till then we're out. Bye bye.
After we record it again, why when this money didn't